What's up, guys? Hockey1940 here. We are back with another episode of our NHL 15 BGM mode with the New York Islanders. And in the last episode, we went through the offseason. We signed Ryan O'Reilly in free agency, and I asked you guys at the end of the last video, what should we do with Wayne Simmonds? And for the most part, you guys were saying trade Wayne Simmonds and move Spencer Smallman up to the second line. Yeah, overall, Smallman looks good. The only thing about him is the 79 offensive awareness isn't up there like I'd like it to be. But that's a... Oh, excuse me. That's not a big deal. But you guys were saying to trade Wayne Simmonds. I don't think that's a deal that we make right now. I think that's a deal that we make at the draft, more like it, because I know he's 31 years old. That's not very old, to me. Once a player hits 33, 34, that's when you're starting to get that's when you're starting to, push it. But to me, up to like 32, maybe 33, depending on the player, depending on the potential, that's still a good roster player. And Wayne Simmonds, trading him right now would just make no sense. And trading him, you could say trade him for basically the same player that's 23 years old. That doesn't make much sense either, because we have Anthony his name's not Anthony, is it? Or is it Anthony Danner? Yeah, Anthony Danner. We have this guy coming up. He's already listed as a third liner. I don't feel comfortable playing him because he only has 79 defensive awareness, 71 poise, only, 3.5 star physical. He could get away with playing on the team, but I'd rather him progress another year in the minors. It wouldn't hurt, him and Heatley playing alongside of each other again. Danner's going to be the one that's going to come up and replace Simmonds, not another guy that we trade for. Simmonds, it would just make no sense to trade him right now. You look at his stats, he's been a very consistent player for us the past few years. Yes, his point production has gone down, but look at last season. 25 and 25, 50 points, plus 16, not too many penalty minutes, 6 power play goals. Simmonds is everything you could ask for in a second-line two-way forward. And that's another thing. I like the sniper, playmaker, two-way forward combination. We got going to the first line as well. It's sniper, two-way forward. I like that. I don't like the whole playmaker, sniper. I like to have some two-way forwards in there as well. Third line, we have power forward, two-way forward, sniper. Smallman, and this stacks our third line as well. In the future, if we trade O'Reilly or maybe even Goudreau, if we trade one of those guys, Smallman will move up. I agree he should be on the second line, but for this year, he just doesn't fit there with the players that we currently have. To me, I would rather have these 6 guys over him on the top 6. Hopefully he doesn't lose. Even if he loses an overall, he's still only 23. He still has the potential. He's not going to lose that. And then the fourth line, we don't touch. But just trading Simmonds right now wouldn't make any sense. He's just the perfect second liner. His shooting category is 4.5 star. Puck skills 4.5 star. Senses is 4.5 star. Defense is 4 star. And then physical and skating are both 4.5 star as well. There's just no reason to get rid of him. He's been here since year 1, and he's consistently gotten it done for us. So if we are truly going for the Stanley Cup this year, or at least the playoffs, Wayne Simmonds is going to be the guy to get us there. But I do agree this should be his last season, just because he is getting older and his potential will start to drop. He does have a cap hit of $4.5 million for the next 4 years. So once that drops down to 3 years at the draft, that's when we trade him. So I think that's how I'm going to go with the lines: Ekblad and Ekman-Larsson, Kapitanov, Griffin Reinhart, Calvin DeHaan, and Travis Hamonic. That all looks good. And then in the nets, we have John Gibson with Kevin Poole. You guys were also saying get a better backup. Poole, I think he's solid. Last season, 9 and 4, 8 and 7. He's been getting better. That's for sure. 2.5 goals against average, not the greatest, not the worst. It's serviceable. He doesn't play that many games. It's not a huge need. And also, we just don't have any assets really to give up for that type of goaltender. Look at John Gibson. 5-star, 5-star, 4.5. What a stud of a goaltender. He's still only 26. This guy's going to be our goalie for the whole GM mode. Alright, so that is basically the reason why I don't feel comfortable making any moves, just because I like the team how it is right now. Yeah, that looks good. And he's our alternate captain. I mean, he's been our alternate captain since pretty much year 1, year 2. We can't just trade him because he's getting, older. Um, you have to keep it realistic as well. This type of team, we just signed Ryan O'Reilly in free agency. This type of team would not be trading a guy like Wayne Simmons, an experienced player who has proven he can do it on the second line. To trade him now just wouldn't make much sense. I can definitely agree that at the draft that would make complete sense to trade him, and that's what I'm going to do. Maybe even if our team, in the first couple of months isn't playing well, or if Simmons isn't performing well, I will trade Simmons for a younger prospect or draft pick and move Spencer Smallman up to the second line, and maybe bring up Anthony Danner to play in the third line. We could do that, but it depends on how we play here in the first few months of the season. Most duties as your boss will let you know I'm expecting you to make the conference semifinals this year. Okay, so he's expecting us to make the second round, and I think that's definitely a good goal. I expect us to make at least the second round. Hopefully the conference final or the Stanley Cup. That would be very nice. But, I think one thing that we could really use, though, is another top 2 defenseman. We have Aaron Ekblad. He's a top 2, but Ekman Larson, top 4, and then we have another couple of top 4s in Kapitanov and Griffin Ryan. Or if we just had another 90 plus overall defenseman back there, that could really help us. I mean, I've done a few GM modes, and if you pick up, a 92 overall top 2 defenseman, that can make all the difference for your team. It really can. It can just carry your team basically, because they're that rock back there on the point. They play defensively as well. If you can get a two-way defenseman that has great offensive and defensive awareness, they can carry your team. So our first game of the season. Let's do the slow simulation. First period. Ooh, there we go. 2 goals. Aaron Ekblad and Johnny Gaudreau both on the power play. Cam Talbot looks like he's the new starting goalie for the Sharks. All right. Second period. 3-1. John Tavares, Logan Couture got one past Gibson. Third period. There we go. Ryan O'Reilly, in his first game as a New York Islander, he scores the dagger in the third period to win it against the San Jose Sharks. Cam Talbot, I wonder what overall he is. I think the most I've seen him get to, 82, 83 maybe. I can't assume he'd get much better than that. But, hold on, I don't think we can see on the screen. No, we can't. Don't need to go in there and look at that, though. So let's simulate up here. We'll simulate a couple of months. And, see how our team is doing. So let's get up to the end of November. But yeah, this team, I just can't wait to see what Danner and Heatley turn out to be. This team, I've said it for the past few years now, it's just the perfect team. We don't have that many older players. We have O'Reilly and Simmons now, 2 guys who are, O'Reilly's not getting that old, but Simmons, maybe unload him in a couple of years, or not in a couple of years, at the end of this year. But for the most part, our team is very young, and they're only getting better. So, I'm pretty sure, the rebuilding part, the trading for prospects and draft picks, that part is done. We have the goaltender situation figured out. John Gibson is our goalie for the rest of the GM mode, pretty much. Defensively, we have Aaron Ekblad, we have Ekman Larson, and Kapitanov and Reinhart, so that's a solid top 4. And then you have Hamonic, and who else was it? Dahan on the third line, which is solid. That could be improved on, but it's solid for now. I think it's just forwards and the forward chemistry we need to get figured out. Maybe another, 90 overall player. Because, when you think about it, we really haven't had any stud player to fit alongside of John Tavares. We've had Tyler Toffoli, but he's an 88 sniper. He's pretty much the best player we've had on that line. So, if we got a 90 overall, playmaker to go with Tavares, that could be perfect. Just trying to think of a player off the top of my head. A guy, not necessarily this guy because he may be getting a little bit older, but Zach Parise, that 90 overall playmaker to go alongside of him. That would just be perfect. And, at the draft, if we can tie in a guy like, or maybe even this year, if we can tie in, depending on how they're playing, Ryan O'Reilly and Wayne Simmons, or maybe Now, it would have to be something big because a 90 overall playmaker would be a lot of trade value. But if we could tie in, O'Reilly and Simmons or something like that for that player, that could make all the difference. Ooh, look at the Capitals, 7-1. They're doing pretty well. Oh, we beat them. There we go, 6-2. Nice start to the season. Aaron Ekblad leading us in assists. Goudreau leading us in goals. Goudreau against his old team. What can you do? Ooh, we lose 3-1. All right, so 6-3. Not a bad first month. Not a bad month. All right, Steven Stamkos and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm just trying to look for a new player. It looks like Andre Pavlik is the new goalie there in Tampa. Ooh, we lost 8-3. Wow. Was Gibson in the net for that one? I hope not. All right, Colorado, we need this bounce back win. Come on, O'Reilly, beat your old team. Beat your old team. Wow, we lose 3-0. All right, so we're going on a bit of a losing streak now. We started off pretty well, but now we're kind of slumping a little bit. Come on, the Predators, they're not looking good either. We could beat them. There you go, 6-3 win. Need to start getting some wins in the win column again. Look at Ekblad, 11 assists in 12 games. I don't even know how many goals he has, but he could be a point-per-game defenseman right now. Obviously, that's going to come down to earth, maybe, but most likely. Tampa, there we go, 3-0 shutout win for John Gibson. That's big. All right, so we can keep this going. Johansson, Wenberg, Oscar Dansk. Looks like he took over the net there. I'm not sure what happened to Bobrovsky. There we go, 3-2 win, 9-5. We're starting to get the win column back up there. Ryan Strom's getting some assists. What can I talk about right now in the NHL? The Predators, the Nashville Predators, what are they on now? A 6-game losing streak? I mean, that's not good for the Predators, man. I mean, they've gone beyond expectations this year. I mean, who would have thought the Predators would have been first in the NHL in points? But now they're kind of slipping. The Ducks took over. I'm pretty sure even the Canadians have more points than them now. 6-game losing streak. Even if you take half of those games and make them wins or whatever, or even overtime, I'm pretty sure they're all regulation losses too. That's not good, especially around this time of the year. They could have been battling for the President's Trophy. I mean, they still can, but they're slipping now. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs. Obviously, they are, but they're not doing so well right now. And also the Eastern Conference. I mean, what do you guys think is going to happen in the East? The Boston Bruins, they're in that last wild card spot. I'm pretty sure from the Capitals up, those teams have made the playoffs. I'm pretty sure 7 out of the 8 teams in the East are pretty much where they are right now, where they stand. That's how it's going to be. Maybe give or take a few position changes in there. But I think that last wild card spot, that 8th position, is still up for grabs. I think the Boston Bruins are actually 7 points up now on the Florida Panthers. So the Boston Bruins, if they can keep winning games, they can definitely take it, and I think they will. I do not see the Boston Bruins going on another big losing streak, and the Panthers winning a bunch of games, or the Flyers, or the Senators, and catching them. Actually, no, the Bruins are 4 points above the Panthers. The Panthers have 1 game in hand, but the Senators actually have 1 game in hand on the Bruins, but they're 5 points behind. The Flyers are 7 points behind. The Devils are out of the race, I would say, for sure. But if I had to make my prediction, I'd say the 8 teams that you see in the Eastern Conference standings right now for the playoffs, that's how it's going to stay. I could see Florida passing Boston if Florida goes on a tear and Boston falls off a little bit. But if I had to predict, I would say how it is right now is how it's going to stay. So let's check out the team standings. We are 6th in the NHL, so our team is tearing it up. We are 2nd in the Western Conference, just behind the Washington Capitals. We are 4th for goals for per game, and 14th for goals against per game. So we're giving up some goals. A lot less goals than some of the worst teams, though. I mean, where are we? Florida. Well, no. Oh, wait, no, Florida. What am I saying? We're not Florida. 2.6. Now we're down there. We could be a lot better in that category. Power play percentage, we are 3rd. And penalty kill, this will really tell us right here, 11th. Yeah, penalty kill could be better. So we could edit the penalty kill. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. Last 10, we're 7-2-1, so not bad. So let's check out the player stats now, see how Ryan O'Reilly and Wayne Simmons are doing. Those are the real main focuses. Also, Spencer Smallman And also Aaron Ekblad, I want to see how many points he has already. See, he was tearing it up in the first month. All right, so points for forwards. John Tavares, look at this guy, man. 27 points in 23 games. I mean, last season, look at the 95 points, 82, 87. This guy's consistently point per game or better. And he's continuing that. And he's, actually, no, Johnny Gaudreau is on the second line. And Gaudreau is tearing it up, 26 points in 23 games. Hey, he's on pace for his best season so far, so if he can keep that up, that's great. Ryan Strome and Gaudreau looks like they're connecting for some points. Ryan Strome was 25 and 23. Toffoli on that first line, 20 points. That's good. And look at Wayne Simmons on the second line, 20 points in 23 games. He's on pace for what, like 60-plus points or something like that? 65-plus? That's huge. Ryan O'Reilly only has 13 points, but he's allowing, he's playing the defensive side. John Tavares and Tyler Toffoli, they're getting the goals. It seems like Toffoli is assisting on a lot of Tavares' goals, and then Ryan O'Reilly's taking the defensive side. They're plus players, which is big. But this is the thing, the third line. This is where Spencer Smallman suffers, and I see why you guys really want him on the second line. Trust me, I want him on the second line too. He's got good defensive awareness at 85. Offensive awareness and poise aren't the greatest, but that's not too big of a deal. Passing is 90, hand-eye is 90, and he has a great shot other than the slap shot accuracy. Good skater as well. I can see why you guys want him on the second line, but and I know he is suffering right now on that third line. Looks like our bottom six altogether is suffering as it does every single year, but our top six is just too good right now to break up. It really is. All right, defensively, Aaron Ekblad, 18 points in 23 games. Alongside of Ekman Larson, 16 points. Yuri Kapitanov, that was the defenseman in one of the two BCGM modes, the Quebec City. Oleg Kapitanov, maybe his brother, who knows. 10 points in 23 games. Calvin DeHaan, Griffin Reinhart, and Travis Hamonic. Are they all pluses? All except for Ekman Larson, but that's not a big deal. Goaltenders. John Gibson, 2.78 goals against average, could be a little bit better, but 12-6-1, pretty good record. 90.44 save percentage, could be a little bit better, 3 shots, but look at Kevin Poulin. He has a 1.57 goals against average, 3-1, 94.44 save percentage, and a shutout. I mean, Kevin Poulin is doing very well in the backup position so far. So yeah, that is not a real need on our team right now. I think we can go another month. Was there anything I wanted to do? I thought there was something else I wanted to do. I guess not. So let's just go up to the let's go up to the All-Star break. We'll go up to the All-Star break. We'll check all the standings and stats again, and that'll end the video. All right, scout assignment. Let's go to one of these three. Once you get into the later years, it's really just these three leagues to choose from. You can get some good players from the other leagues, but it's mainly those three. The CHL. Alright, so Ovechkin looks like he's doing well with Nicholas Backstrom. Blake Wheeler looks like he's a Capital. Interesting. I love to see the computer teams make trades and different signings and stuff. I hate to be like 10 years in and still see guys like I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, what's the team? To see like a guy like Bobby Ryan still on the Senators or something like that. It's like you think the guy would have been traded by then or signed by another team or something. I really wish computer teams would make more blockbuster deals like that. Sometimes at the trade deadline you see them trade like older guys, or you see them trade like a mid-'80s guy for a prospect and a pick or something like that, but you really don't see any blockbuster trades. You don't see, not that you would see it, but you don't see like Patrick Kane going for like a first and a grade A prospect and a roster player. You just don't see that happening. I wish more of that happened. It's basically it's up to the person playing GM mode. To see the teams, to see the players switch. I'm currently doing a New York Rangers GM mode. I'm going into year 7, and in year 6, I won the Stanley Cup, But a couple years before, about a year before that, actually, I traded Rick Nash to the Dallas Stars, and like a year or two later, I ended up facing him in the Stanley Cup final, and he was on the Minnesota Wild. So he ended up going to Dallas and then getting flipped to Minnesota somehow. But see, that never would have happened if I didn't let him go. It's kind of up to the user player to change around the league, sort of, unless free agency drastically changes it. But it's not like every year you see huge players in free agency. And if there is, there's only like one or two. The league doesn't change that much. It just really annoys me when I see the retirements and I see the guys retiring 10 years in with the same teams that they started with. It's just, I'd like to change a little bit. Looks like Dylan McElrath finally made the Rangers, and James Reimer is the goalie for the Rangers. We've seen a lot of different goalies in this episode. Seems like all the teams have different goaltenders. I see the Capitals have Josh Harding. What's going on? I might actually check that here. Actually, yeah, I'll check that. We'll stop at December. We won't go all the way to the All-Star break. Otherwise, this will end up being like 35, 40 minutes. So, yeah, that's good. We stop right at January 1st. January, right? Yeah. I actually want to check that. GM options, contract. I want to see what goaltenders these teams have, because it seems like every team has a different goaltender. And this will just be cool to see what the teams have. Alright, the Rangers. Yeah, looks like they have James Reimer and Scott Wedgwood. That's a lot different than Lundqvist and Talbot. Ottawa has Robin Lehner and Michael Gugovaz. Alright, Philly has Stolars, who looks like he's taken over, and Steve Mason. So that's a little different. Ooh, Austin Lotz and Jeff Zatkoff. So yeah, 5 years in. Or no, this is our 6th year, isn't it? And wow, San Jose really has a goaltending problem right there. Anthony Emmy's down to an 83. Yeah, see that? Like, why wouldn't the Sharks have traded him, a few years ago? Why did they wait for him to get to 36, 3 stars, for him making this money? Why would they wait that long? Cam Talbot, somehow the Sharks got their hands on him. Probably free agency, but 81 overall. They got a goaltending issue there in San Jose. And see, like, St. Louis, like, they have... Allen, they have this young guy who's only 24 years old. Why not trade Jake Allen for another player? I don't understand it. Tampa Bay, Pavlik and Grice. Yeah, these teams have different goalies. Jonathan Bernier, Frederick Anderson on Toronto. Oh, who's this guy? Nikita Sherbrigakov. That's interesting name. Looks like he's a stud of a goaltender. So take a look at his stats. Yeah, 5-star, 4.5, 4. I think Gibson's better, but than Eddie Lack in the backup. Ooh, look at this guy, Gabriel Parent. 23 years old, he's already 90 overall. Wow. I don't know why Harding started in the game against us. What's his, the Washington? Yeah, he was their 2nd overall pick. Alright, so it seems like goaltender. Oh, I backed out. Go back in there. This is actually interesting. We're seeing, teams change a little bit. That's good. I wish the forwards and stuff would change a little bit. Francois Broussard and Eric Comrie. Again, you'd think they would... Well, I guess I can see that. They're waiting to see which one gets better. Yeah, see, same thing with Anaheim. Halak, 34 years old, 83. Cardaramo, 33 years old, 82 overall. Both 3 stars. What's wrong with Anaheim there? They should be going after goaltenders from those other teams that have, like, 2, stud goalies. Ben Bishop and Mark Byzantine for the Coyotes. Tuukka Rask and Malcolm Subban. See, like, I don't understand. Like, why would they not trade Tuukka Rask? Look at this. They're tying up $14.5 million in 2 goaltenders. Why not trade Tuukka Rask for another prospect goalie or prospect forward or defenseman or something? Get something back for him and let Subban have the time. And how many games have they played this year? Have they at least been sharing the time? Rask has played 29 games. Subban has played 5. I mean, this guy's 26 years old, 89 overall. He could still get a good jump, but he's only playing 5 games because 32-year-old Tuukka Rask is in his way. Oh, I backed out again. Jeez, I always do that. I click the back button to leave that team, but it just leaves the menu. Michael Neuwirth and Tuukka Smura. So yeah, they could use a change there in Buffalo. Ooh, Francois Tremblay and Yoni Ortio in Calgary, so they got a good young goalie. Kalak and Alex Nedshil. I'm not even trying to pronounce that, but see, they should trade one of these two guys. I mean, this guy's making all this money. This guy's coming up on his deal. You know, they should trade one of these two guys. I don't know why they don't. You know, you see some teams with goalies like this, and then you see a team like Anaheim who don't have a goalie above 83. You know, just I don't like it. Chicago, Crawford's still 87, but they should trade him now while he still has 4 stars and he has trade value. But I can see maybe why not, because they might still be going for another cup. But see, Varlamov and Graham, trade Varlamov, get something back. Columbus, Oscar Danson, Bobrovsky. So Bobrovsky was the backup. Still, maybe not trade Bobrovsky now because they still might be trying to go for the cup. I don't know. But trade Bobrovsky, you know, in a couple years at least when he still has the potential. Campbell and Lettinen, should have traded Lettinen earlier. Mrazek and Howard, should have traded Howard. Dubnyk and Scrivens, so they're having trouble there in Edmonton. Looks like they got Dubnyk back as well. Alex Dubois and Spencer Martin. Jonathan Quick, 33 years old. They should trade him. I bet he has a ton of trade value. Get a younger goalie in there. Minnesota, they got this young goalie who can replace Kemper. That's not bad. Fucali and Price. Maybe wait for Fucali to get better and then trade Price. I doubt they'll do it though. Hill and Marc-Andre Fleury somehow ended up in the Predators. Interesting. The Devils, Fleschler, looks like, and Corey Schneider. And then there's us. So those are the goaltenders for all the teams. I don't think there was a single team with the default goaltending, which is pretty cool to see, I guess. But a lot of teams need to make changes as far as goaltending. You guys saw all the teams there. With an 83 as their top or 84. That just shows you how lucky we are to have a guy like John Gibson in the net. One of the top goalies in the league now. Just behind Carey Price, who's getting older. Alright, so let's look at the stats one last time, and that'll be it. Alright, so we are still 6th in the NHL. Goals for per game, we are 6th. Goals against per game, we are 14th, so we didn't... That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to change the penalty kill. Power play, we were 10th, so I think that actually went down. Penalty kill, 7th. Oh, never mind, that actually went up. I was going to say wait a little bit, see if it goes up, and it actually did. So I think we'll keep this the same. Looks like our home record is fantastic. Last 10 we were 6-3-1. Where are we in the East? We are 4th now in the Eastern Conference, but not a big deal. It's not like we're going for the Presidents or anything. We're just trying to make the playoffs at this point. Actually, no, it didn't. I don't know what that just sorted by. What did that do? I think it was sorting it by another category. But no, we are 3rd in the East, so we were only 2 points, or only 1 point from tying first, but 2 points away from taking first. So that's pretty cool. We have 2 games in hand on Washington. So those are the team standings. And now let's look at the player stats. 3 months in, pretty much. Alright. This would load up. There we go. Alright, so Tavares, still point per game, 38 and 36. Strome, so our 2 centers are point per game, that's pretty cool. 35 and 36. Gaudreau is 29, so he's gone down a little bit. He's not point per game like he was, but still a great season for Johnny Gaudreau on the second line. Tyler Toffoli, 27. O'Reilly, 25, so his point production's going up. Plus 7. Aaron looking forwards first. It's just easier. And see, Wayne Simmons, so he came down to earth. He's not point per game. You don't expect that out of Wayne Simmons. He's still on pace for like 55, maybe 60 points. He's a plus 9. And Wayne Simmons, you gotta keep him there. And these guys are pretty much the same minuses as before. Right, and then 3rd and 4th lines. Yeah, they're always minus. Alright, and now defenseman. Right, Aaron Ekblad, 25 points. Wow, so he's on pace for at least 50 points. That's pretty cool. Ekman Larson looks like he's going to have another 45-ish point season. Same with Oleg Kapitanov. And then these 3 guys, they are not for points. They are just for defense. Right now, Griffin Reinhardt is getting that done. These 2 guys are minus. It seems like our 3rd and 4th forward lines and our 3rd defensive line are always minuses. I don't know if it's just because the lines aren't good enough, or it's just, our top lines are so good that it has to even out and make our bottom lines bad. I'm not sure, but I don't know. All right, so John Gibson goals against average. I think that actually got a little bit worse, but 18, 10, and 2. 89.99. I mean, I know Gibson's played more games, but I mean, Poulin looks like the better goalie right now. I mean, he's 1.41 goals against average, 5 and 1, a 95.22 save percentage. This guy's awesome. Yes, we have a pretty good goaltending tandem here in Gibson and Poulin. Alright, so that is going to do it for this episode, guys. Leave any suggestions you have in the comments. I'm not sure what the main questions should be. GM Tractor, do we have anything? No, trying to max all this stuff out. But yes, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next episode where we will either... We'll go to the trade deadline, and if we have to make a move, we will. But if we don't have to make any moves, then we'll probably just finish the regular season. So yeah, if you guys have any comments, obviously leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.